Four. I think we have all the pieces. Great. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Take a moment and just come to presence in whatever way works for you. Of course, starting with the breath is sweet. Then if you need to stretch or whatever feels right, being in the space, being in your body, being fully present, rolling your shoulders, whatever it is, taking a moment to just be. And I'm going to share with you a poem to kick us off today. So as I read this, just keep your breathing going, keeping it steady. You've gotten to hear this poem. I think there's a lot of power in it, so I'm going to bring it back around for you. I think. There it is. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of rain are moving across landscapes, over prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. And meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. So take a breath. Your place in the family of things. So I'm intending that at this point, after 15 weeks of being in this room together, that you sense that you are enough, that you are good, that you are part. We are each needed. We are each in the right place right now when we are needed. The earth needs us. Our communities need us. The people around you need you. We're creating culture, and then you need you for you. So this is going to be, what is the world birthing through you? I want you to hold this question. At the beginning of the semester, I offered that when you're considering a journal entry or a discussion post, that you carry the question with you somewhere where it feels right, where it settles into your body. So I want you to hold this question, whether it's in your mind or your heart or your gut. What is the world birthing through you? So through the beginning of this class, we started with part one when we were thinking about and deeply feeling our way into the fact that we are part of this universe. We are made of the stuff of the earth. We're birthed from the stuff of the universe. Earth feeds us and waters us and shelters us, and we have that in common with all the other living beings, the plants and the animals. And we challenged ourselves to look at the world with new eyes, the eyes of wonder and humility and gratitude and connection. I can't believe that I get to live on this planet where I look up and I see the moon hanging in the sky. It's magic, right? How incredible is that? So in this image, this is a landscape, a photo captured in infrared light by NASA's James Webb Space Telescope. The image reveals for the first time previously invisible areas of star birth. This is where the landscape of mountains and valleys speckled with glittering stars is actually the edge of a nearby young star-forming region called NGC 3324 in the Carina Nebula. So it looks totally like something AI would have created, and yet this is a photo of a place out there in our world. From there, we went to part 2 with the emphasis of what's going on our planet, right? The feeling the pain of these times. And it brought up potentially a lot of emotion for a lot of us, right? This was the part of the class, the typical environmental science part of chemicals and climate. And by not looking away, we got to experience our emotions, part of our intelligence that makes us human, by allowing ourselves to feel we are fully human. We talked through the tragedy and the chaos of this time. And from there, we moved into part 3, right? The attention on sustainability as it relates to our daily choices, food and shelter and transportation and energy, focusing on creativity and possibility and opportunity, hope and freedom in the power of choice. We cannot continue living like we are now. The word's sustainability, to be clear, is not continuing to sustain what's happening right now. We must consider what sustain really means. Sustain means to keep, to hold, to strengthen, and to support. We need to sustain this place. So, how can we strengthen and support the world around us, the communities around us? So the book title, Developing Ecological Consciousness, what have you come to understand as ecological consciousness? What have you come to understand as ecological consciousness? I'd like you to take a moment to brainstorm for yourself, write in your journal, and then talk to your neighbor when you're ready. Who would like to speak to this? Developing ecological consciousness. What is ecological consciousness?
I talked about how like Earth is a tangible thing, like it's a part of us, and we have to take care of it, and like the concept of just like knowing that.
Thank you. Beautiful. Anyone else want to build on that or?
I said that ecological consciousness is kind of just being aware of the connection between myself and the earth and like everything that's changing on our planet.
Hmm. Thank you for saying that. Yes. Lovely. Mhm.
So I said that ecological consciousness is a connection to the earth, and also like I built saying it's like an understanding of how the planet provides for you, like how the everyday functions of this planet like keep you breathing and living, and it's kind of like that consciousness is your understanding of that.
Yeah, nice. The understanding of those deep connections. Sweet. So then the subtitle, right? Going on, the subtitle of the book, what have you come to understand as becoming fully human? So do it again. Think about it, talk about it. Another up. So what do you want to say about this? Becoming fully human.
I think that becoming fully human is understanding your purpose in life and also understanding that it's okay to not know your purpose in life, but that life is about that journey of finding that purpose. And that's what it means to become fully human to me.
Thank you, Anthony.
I think for me, like becoming fully human is to just be truthful to yourself. And also, like, I guess like a lot of people think that something they do is like embarrassing or whatever, but you have to understand that like something that is quote unquote embarrassing or like anything like that is like you you make it seem embarrassing, and it could be like not embarrassing to someone else, but honestly, you just gotta like just do whatever. Like just don't hold yourself back. Because I used to think that like I'm an acting major, and I used to think that like showing my passion for acting and stuff was like embarrassing, but I came to realize that like it's something I'm really passionate in, and I shouldn't be embarrassed while doing something that I'm super passionate in. Like I don't really care about what anyone else says. And I'm only holding myself back if I think so. So, yeah.
Thank you for saying so. Manon.
I think it depends on the kind of person that you already are coming into this class. Because I think if you are the kind of person that is, if it's a person that thinks, oh, I'm the most important, it's me, the world revolves around me, you kind of realize, I think becoming fully human is you're realizing the fact that you have an effect on everything and the things around you have an effect on you, and it's not just you. And then I think if you come in with a sense of like, oh, I'm kind of small, I'm worthless, I don't really mean anything, then you do realize like, oh, I have my own thoughts, my own opinions. I can take these actions. I do matter. I have effects on people. I just think it depends on what kind of person that you already are, and then you develop like from there.
An
If-
individual adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, because the pathway isn't the same for all of us. Yes, Mia, right. Oh, Scott.
For me, becoming fully human was sort of nurturing the parts of me that I hated for years and realizing that those parts that I sort of hid from people are some of the most special things about me. And realizing this through this course, I feel like it was just a blossoming of sorts, like it was a rebirth. But also, I realized that, and this was a Timothy Chalamet interview quote. He said, "Life comes from me and not at me." And I feel like I really lived that this semester.
So it is an individual adventure of becoming fully human. Thank you for considering that. So when our head, our heart, and our gut, our intuition work together in harmony, then we can reach our full human potential, right? Whatever that is for you as an individual. So we all have the choice. We have the choice to take these steps to do that, the choice to do the things we love to do, the choice to choose our story as we go through, the choice to see with new eyes, to unlearn, to question, to be able to care for ourselves, to be able to honor our inner child. All these kinds of things. We can give ourselves the best and show up fully for ourselves. So our human creativity can take us to amazing places. Some of you, as you've heard me say, will have jobs that don't exist yet. Some of you are going to bring new ideas and new enthusiasm, new possibilities and passion to jobs that need to be revitalized, to places in life, places in community. So it's not just about jobs, right? It's about bringing ideas together in the places where you are. So keeping your eyes and your mind and your heart and your gut open, and doors will appear in front of you. So this is part of my adventure too, right? I get to take this adventure as well of becoming fully human. This is the fire that I light every morning in the winter in my fireplace at home. And I use this as a symbol for my own adventure with BiSci 3. Right? I didn't expect to be doing this work. I didn't expect to have the opportunity to do this. And I also didn't expect how fully I would be becoming myself through this process. So I thought that environmental education was my pathway, and trying to teach people in the outdoors, trying to teach people how to teach people in the outdoors. And that was what I thought that my job was. And then I discovered that that wasn't it, right? I was feeling very uninspired doing that work. And I knew that the students knew that. So how is it that I can step into a journey that I didn't know was the one that I was going to take? So I needed to find a place where I could give and receive and grow in ways that I didn't know were possible. So there is this kind of power and possibility and hope and light in each one of you as well. So what's going to happen for you, for us, after you leave this class? What kind of adventure will come? Will you go back to what you were doing before? Environmentally, will you commit to recycling because you know that's a good idea, and then console ourselves that we're doing our part to make the world a better place, even though we know recycling is helpful, but it's very trivial in the face of the state of Earth. So it's important, but we have learned and showed that we must do more. So a quick scan of America's headlines, right? Popular news websites show that the country appears on the brink of chaos. The world appears on the brink of chaos. But if you looked at a newspaper in 1944, in 1972, 1998, you would probably come away with that same feeling. Humans have this unquenchable hunger for hearing about crime and scandals and political turmoil. And so news media doesn't talk about what's going right. You often have to dig for that, right? Turmoil always grabs the headlines over peace. So economic crises always get more headlines than prosperity. The storm always receives more press than the calm before or after it. Studies out of the National Institute of Health and American Psychological Association find that more news one consumes, the greater your perception of risk and feelings of fear. And as you know, the places where you find news, figure out your algorithm. So if you continue to click on the bad news, you're going to get more and more bad news. And I'm here to say that the reverse is true too. If you train your algorithm in those places you're scrolling to find the good news, it will come as well. The more good you find, it will be delivered to you if you choose the good news. There are many, 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 many good things happening. We need to be diligent in seeking out the loving actions and then connecting ourselves to them. So here are some examples just from yesterday and today. So on the Good News Network, here is yesterday's headlining report. Chris Dole, age 26, has built a rechargeable battery pack big enough to power his whole home using just the batteries from discarded vapes. The British engineer thinks it's absolutely insane, quote unquote, that people use disposable vaping pens as they come with a lithium-ion battery that can be recharged again and again. They're literally powered with a technology that is advertised as the alternative to disposable batteries. So he took those lithium batteries out of 500 vapes thrown away, and some of which were given to him by a local shop, to create a single battery bank large enough to run his entire house for 8 hours or his workshop for multiple days. So the Good News Network focuses on good news, good talks, good gifts, and how to get involved. On this news channel, The Good, 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 this was their top headline. Obituaries are the most read part of newspapers. Here's what 38 million tributes reveal about a life well lived. 30 years of obituaries. The word tradition, the fact that people value tradition, appeared most often. Could be about religious participation or enduring family customs. Words related to the value benevolence, that means caring for the welfare of others, were consistently prominent. Those two words, benevolence and tradition, appeared in more than 70% of the obituaries. What does this mean? It means that people are valuing connection. People are valuing community. This is good news. It's important to note that words like achievement and power appeared far less often. That's interesting. This one is exciting. In the Optimist Daily, I was really excited that that was a thing that existed. In a sweeping, this is today's news story from their headline, a sweeping move to modernize its energy infrastructure and reduce reliance on fossil fuels, the European Union approved 100 cross-border hydrogen and hydrolyzer initiatives, laying the groundwork for one of the continent's most ambitious green energy overhauls. Hydrogen is increasingly viewed as a cornerstone in the EU's long-term plan to decarbonize the energy system and boost industrial resilience. So the idea here is not just the hydrogen products and their scale, but also the idea that the political and technical momentum behind this initiative is involving so many people. The Optimist Daily is focused on finding and reporting solutions. What good news. So then here are three more that you get to explore, right? You get to figure out where the good news is. We have the Positive News channel, society, environment, lifestyle, science, so all kinds of positive news. There is HuffPost, news, politics, entertainment, life, shopping, personal voices, games. And then there's Reasons to be Cheerful. They have a super exciting story that I can't wait for you to discover when you look it up. That is really fun. The world is full of better ways. So when you think back through this class, we did the whole class about trees way back when. And thinking about this is a picture of Pando, that aspen grove in Utah, known to be the largest community, the largest organism on the planet. And so if you think back, we thought about all the things we had in common with trees. But now I want you to think about that root system as you let your awareness sink beneath these trees, all of those connections, the network of roots that allow them to share information, that allow them to share resources, right? We as people are like these aspen trees. We're in this together. Courage, endurance, protection, community, and ability to face and overcome the obstacles in life. So yes, it is important that we each work in our independent ways, but we also are all one. We're all working on this together. You don't need to do this alone. We are in a place where we can't do it alone. And you've demonstrated that. Your community of labs, right? What can you achieve through that? We've been through 80 years of hyper-individualism, and now the understanding that we've discovered is that we're really actually interdependent. We can depend on each other. We can make these choices to move forward based on the idea that we aren't doing it alone. We're in it together. The power is in togetherness. And now, of course, that's the hero's journey. With knowledge comes power and responsibility. A quote from Spider-Man somewhere there along the way. Denying our feelings, going numb is a life-denying experience. We have our emotions for a reason. Being able to feel has been critical to our adaptation and survival as a species. So how is it that we are going to use those emotions to move forward, to make change? The world is affected by your yeses and nos. The world is affected by your yeses and nos. So what happens when you say relationships, connection, So I'd like you to listen to these words from Christine Fry that Mia and Logan are going to share with us at this point.
You've asked me to tell you the great turning of how we save the world from disaster. The answer is both simple and complex. We turned.
For hundreds of years, we had turned away as life on Earth grew more precarious. We turned away from the homeless men on the streets, the stench from the river, the children orphaned in Iraq, the mothers dying of AIDS in Africa.
We turned away because that was what we had been taught to turn away from our pain, from the hurt in another's eyes, from the drunken father, from the friend betrayed.
Always we were told, in actions louder than words, to turn away. And so we became a lonely people, caught up in a world, moving too quickly, too mindlessly towards its own demise.
Until it seemed as if there was no safe space to turn, no place, inside or out, that did not remind us of fear or terror, despair and loss, anger and grief.
Yet on one of those days, someone did turn to face the pain, turn to face the stranger, turn to look at the smoldering world and the hatred seething in too many eyes, turn to face himself, herself.
And then another turned, and another, and another. And as they wept, they took each other's hands.
Until whole groups of people were turning, young, old, gay, straight, people of color, all nations, all religions, turning not only to the pain and hurt, but to beauty, gratitude, and love, turning to one another with forgiveness and longing for peace in their hearts.
At first, the turning made people feel dizzy, even silly. There were people standing to the side, gawking, criticizing, trying to knock the turners down. But the people turning kept getting up, kept helping one another to their feet. Their laughter and kindness brought others into the turning circle, until even the naysayers began to smile and sway.
As the people turned, they began to spin, reweaving the web of life, mending the shocking tears, knitting it back together with the colors of the earth, sewing on tiny mirrors so the beauty of each person, each plant, each life might be seen and respected.
As the people turned, as they spun like the earth through the universe, the web wrapped around them like a soft baby blanket, making it clear all were loved, nothing separate.
As this love reached into every crack and crevice, the people began to wake and wonder, to breathe and give thanks, to celebrate together.
And so the world will be saved, but only as long as you, too, sweet one, remember to turn.
So how is it that we, thank you both for reading. So how is it that we too can turn, right? What can we do for the state of the environment and climate change? Face your grief and have a vision for the future. Keep asking questions, keep figuring out what's going on for real on the planet, paying attention to the news and diving in to figure out what's really going on. It's hard. That goes into this, defending the truth, finding the truth first, learning to find the difference between real science and pseudoscience. Don't give up on the people that have views that are different than yours. See yourself as a citizen and not as a consumer. Reflect on your relationship with stuff on a daily basis, purchasing, using, throwing away. Reclaim your idea of good life, and that might be about dematerializing. Practice responsible consumerism, put your money where it matters, both in what you buy and how you invest, and don't burn your dollars. You have tools. Through this class, you have practiced many of those tools: curiosity, bravery, vulnerability, speaking and writing for yourself, finding connection. These tools can help you to be active participants in your communities, the communities of your workplace and your organizations and clubs of all kinds. Engage in politics. Democracies are threatened by the climate crisis and lack of understanding around diversity, and they must evolve to meet the challenge. So if the first duty of government is to protect the people, then across much of the world, the form of democracy we have become used to is failing. Climate change is an existential threat and will intensify faster than most people realize. If our government systems can't protect us from that existential threat, then we need to figure out different systems. So how is it that we can move forward and make change fast enough? Figuring that out is going to be key. And so being engaged in politics. Be your authentic self. It's such a beautiful thing. Being real. Real makes more connections and more valuable connections. We can't meet anyone or anything if we don't meet ourselves first. And then finding those connections. Honor the relationships with yourselves, others, and the natural world. Find the connections that make you feel whole and seek those out. This requires taking note, noticing, questioning, observing, using that scientific method. So that when the eyes of our children and their children look straight into ours and they ask us, "What did you do?" Our answer can't be that we did everything we could. It has to be more than that. There's really only one answer, right? We did everything that was necessary to make this change. It will be a story of great adventure against overwhelming odds, a magnificent story of turning and connecting. This is my favorite quote of the whole semester. I'd appreciate it if you wrote it down in your journal for your consideration later. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So take that into your consideration and then talk to your partner about it. Who would like to say something about this? TAs, I also welcome your speaking too, as always.
It's probably just like watching people be kind to each other, and like I just like laughing people around me, and like that's my mom a lot of these times, or just like finding excitement. He's like when I'm driving, like I have to go down, cold and perfect. It's finding. The passion to like create change has to come from within, like what you believe personally. It's trying to change from like what you see. There's no passion behind it.
The passion to change has to come from within. So thank you for speaking to that. You can do it. So there's a lot of wisdom that you have shared with yourself in your journal. I've had students from many years say that they appreciated keeping their journals, holding on to them, so that they could go back and look at them next year at this time, or 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And seeing the growth, seeing the possibility, seeing what happens over the course of time. When you need a boost of confidence or a moment of slowing down, your journal will be there for you. That's one reason that we print it and have it in paper as a story. You've written a story about you at this time in your life. And so I hope that that helps you to feel alive and come alive in ways that you may or may not expect, right? I'm a big fan of gratitude, and I want to acknowledge the challenges and celebrate the efforts of every person in this room. There's a lot to be said. There's been disappointments, there's been enlightenments. What does success and failure really mean? There's a lot there. How do you choose to see your experiences? It's in dualistic thinking or in holistic being. So this meeting marks the end of an adventure that has called forth considerable efforts from everybody involved. I'll offer my gratitude now, and then I encourage you, if you feel so inclined, to reach out and express your gratitude to others as well. It's a way of making connections. I'm grateful for Chris Yule, who gifted me this class, the opportunity to live and work with BiSci. I am more fully human because of this. I'm grateful for Autumn, who with positivity and joy helps me with all of the details. I'm grateful for the learning coordinators who have offered their skills and leadership to mentor the TAs. I'm grateful for the TAs because they have been teaching who they are with a lot of heart. I wouldn't do this without them. I'm grateful to each of you who are in BiSci 3 for being you. You've made this room feel beautifully alive with all your unique energies, and I'm grateful for that. If you've been changed in some way over the course of this semester, that's because of you, right? That's your choice. That's your power. That's your opportunity. You've chosen to open and to grow and to feel. And so even at this late hour, we do have the opportunity to make choices for the future. We are capable of making the right choices for our destiny. We're not doomed to a devastating future. There's lots of possibility, but in order to do that, we must let go of the life we have planned so as to accept the one that is waiting for us, says Joseph Campbell. He is the author of The Hero's Journey. So what is the world birthing through you? What are the possibilities? How are you going to show up? What are you going to bring to this beautiful place where we can watch the moon, where we can breathe with trees, where we can share opportunities with friends, where we can appreciate the gifts that we have, right? What is the world birthing through you? We are the ones we have been waiting for. There is not an iota of doubt in my body that this isn't true. So with this, I send you out into the world with the faith that together we can create our future, and I expect miracles. Thank you very much. I hope you have a beautiful day.